I'm not seeing any currently online, at least at the moment, Tammy, but something may pop up here.
Yeah. If it does, just please interrupt me, and I'll go ahead and get started with these action steps. So going back to number 6, being communicative. So it really has to do with your communication strategy and actually taking action with that communication strategy. Of course, networking is important. Some people say, and I know there are executive career firms out there that say networking is all important and that's what you need to be doing. I do believe that networking is an important piece of it. I also think that proactively contacting the companies that you would want to work for has been very successful for my clients. Actually, this year it has been super successful. And also contacting companies that are growing, especially if you don't have a strong preference as to what industry you want to get into, you could certainly look at the local business journal for companies that are doing well, and then you proactively contact the right people within those companies. So not HR per se, but actually the person that would be your boss if you're contacting those companies. Send them your resume. Send them an introductory letter. Introduce yourself. Then there are also, in networking, there are structured and unstructured networking opportunities. So structured networking opportunities could be job clubs, and Kansas City has a great network of job clubs, and I know we've got some people outside of Kansas City that are listening, so you can always Google the name of your city and job clubs and find a list of those. But also industry associations. Those are untapped oftentimes, of industries that you would be interested in getting into, and alumni associations. Even if it's been 25 years since you graduated, alumni oftentimes, especially the leaders of those alumni associations, have connections, and they can put you in contact with other people that might be able to help you. So I talked earlier this hour about how to introduce yourself in a way that doesn't sound like an elevator speech. So oftentimes in an elevator speech, when you're asked to stand up in a group and tell people who you are and what you're looking for, oftentimes you give them what job you're seeking and what your name is. And, I've heard elevator speeches that go on for 3 or 4 minutes, and if you've been exposed to those, or if you have done those, please know that everybody's eyes start to roll back in their heads about 30 seconds, 45 seconds into it. So you really have to keep it pretty brief. So my suggestion for you is doing something a little bit differently than stating who you are, what job you're looking for, and possibly what industry you're looking at, but giving them what I call an audio business card. I call it an ABC introduction method, or audio business card. And that really is 3 parts. The first part is, what type of company do you want to work for? And that would be a size and an industry. And then secondly, what kind of need would you fill, or what kind of problem would they have that you would be able to solve? In other words, what's your niche and what's your expertise? And then thirdly, what would they be getting if they hired you? What advantage, what have you proven to do? What has been one of your main strengths that you can help a company with? So, for instance, if you're a marketing manager, you could say something like, well, you know how small to mid-size technology businesses have new products or a new product, and they don't really know how to put together a marketing strategy from scratch, a branding strategy, a marketing strategy, and they don't know how to capitalize on that new invention or that new product. Well, that's what I do. My specialty is taking a product from inception through rollout, creating a branding strategy and a marketing strategy around that product, and really increasing the bottom line in a very stupendous way, with the new product, and really maximizing its potential in the market. So that would be a way to tell somebody what you do without actually saying, I'm looking for a marketing manager position. Because when you say, I'm looking for a marketing manager position, somebody's thinking in their heads, do I know and open a marketing manager position? And then they say no, and then they really can't help you. But if you tell them what type of company you're looking at and what problem they have, if they know of those companies, especially if you're talking to the right audience and they know business owners or they are a business owner, then they can identify with that issue, because a lot of technology companies have new products that come out pretty frequently, and maybe they aren't maximizing the potential of those products. So then you've introduced yourself in a way that makes you useful or valuable to a company. And as a former marketing manager, does that make sense? Will?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I did have a question for you, Tammy. Do you think a lot of candidates struggle with, feeling like they've put a burden on a fellow business associate or networking connection or family or friend when they're actually communicating and asking for help or telling people the type of position they're looking for?
It depends on the contact, and it also depends on what you're asking them to do. I'm really not a big fan of saying, hey, do you know of anybody who's hiring? Or, hey, can I give you my resume and have you pass it along to somebody else? Because then I do think that you're imposing a burden. What happens with that burden is that they don't really know how to help you, and now you're asking them to take action after you've talked with them or emailed them, and now they're feeling uncomfortable because they're feeling obligated to do something for you, and they may not know how to help you. They may not know who to send the resume to, so it may end up going to HR, which is going in a large circular bin, and you're never going to hear from them again. And it just makes people feel just a little bit oogie. So I don't recommend handing out your resume and saying, hey, can you keep a lookout for me, or can you pass this along? I really think that if you're going to utilize your contacts, that the best way to do that is just to let them know what you're looking for and then say, who do you know that I should be talking to? Or a little bit more passively, do you know someone that I should be talking to? And that way it is I can either help you right now or I can't. And if they give you a name, that's it. They've just given you a name. And so I think that helps, because then they're not obligated to do something after your conversation with them.
Right. That's a great point.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And, I think, we certainly could, fall into that trap of, not giving clear definitions. That's always the challenge in marketing, is speaking to, the strengths of the product or service or business out there. And, but, reality is, Tammy, that, frankly, if you're not telling, everybody about what it is that you are doing or the type of position you are looking for, it's really you've created a situation where you're suffering in silence, and nobody knows how to help you, or you've shared so much information that they're overwhelmed and can never help you. I wanted to share with you a quick tip of something that I do, but a mantra of mine is being really being present, authentic, and committed to exactly what is critical in, one, determining a good client for my business, and also what I want out of a career. So I have a little Post-it note, and it has just like 3 to 4 little, ideas on it, and I look at it every morning, and sometimes it changes, sometimes I rewrite it, but, that's how I go about sharing that message with the outside world, and that message is changed.
What were the 3 pieces of that? What was the
present
of that?
Well, it's present, authentic, and committed.
Okay.
Just those 3 elements, but I further expand, in my little note just of, present, what's critical for me today, or, how do I want to impact a client, and, commitment to a project or, project goal. So, I kind of constantly redefine those, but, they help me communicate with, clients and businesses, how we're going to work together.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Yeah, that's really, really good. And I think that you can take that and utilize it in a job search as well. It's very relevant. Yeah, very good. Well, let's move on to courageous. Yeah, courageous. So, one of the things that you can do to be courageous, I know that some people say, take to the streets and start pounding the pavement. That used to work. I really haven't seen that it works so much anymore as far as walking into a business and handing your resume. I think that snail mail, I think that just using postal mail does the trick as long as you make it personal. But I really haven't seen going out there. I think that it makes you feel productive. I don't know that I've seen it be effective. So I don't know that actually going out there, being courageous and shaking hands with new people and giving them your resume has been effective. However, what I can tell you that has been effective is picking up the phone and doing informational interviews. But it all depends on how you do those. And you may have heard of informational interviewing, but you have to know how to do it the right way. And I do actually have a piece that I give my clients that talks specifically about informational interviewing and gives a good list of questions that you can ask in an informational interview, and also instructions on how to conduct one. So if you want that piece, I would be happy to send that PDF to you. All you have to do is email me, so you can reply to one of the emails that I've sent you about this Six-Figure Pro Series, or you can email me at Tammy, Tammy, at beyondjobsearching.com. I'll send you that because it's too much information for me to go into on this call. But informational interviewing where you're asking someone that you don't know, and I wouldn't recommend doing it for the hiring manager. I think oftentimes calling one of the sales team, you can get some good information about the company and about their industry if you're changing industries. And under no circumstances do you turn it into a phone interview. This is simply just finding out more information. But the end result is that one more person in another company knows that you're looking for a position, and if they offer to take your resume, you can certainly do that. But also, you're asking them that all-important question, who do you know that I should be talking to after introducing yourself? But that's after building a connection with them. So I'd be happy to send that to you. Again, it's Tammy at beyondjobsearching.com. So then the next one is conscientious. And we talked a little bit about that before, when it's not just doing the right thing, or not just thinking the right thing, but actually doing the right thing, or doing not just the easy thing, but the right thing. So you would want to take action that would cause people to describe you as conscientious. And you would want to communicate those actions that you have during an interview to show how you go above and beyond and to show your dedication to excellence in everything that you do. So what you can do is think of times in your life when you did the right thing and not just the easy thing, when you actually went above and beyond in your job and not just did your job description. You know, employers are constantly wanting to know, how did you affect the bottom line? How did you pay for yourself? And that's kind of a mantra that I give out. And not just, what did you do when you showed up for work every day? They want to know how you went above and beyond. What makes you special? Because if you just showed up for work every day, that's not going to be enough in this job market to get you a new job. You've got to be able to show your commitment to excellence and the times in your career when you were able to go above and beyond.